Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Please stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
leave me alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to.
Steph got been raping you.
Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
Deviancy, social deviancy. There is social deviancy that deviates from social norms, civilized behavior, and there is deviancy that is criminal. It is, you're abnormal. So, sexual deviancy would involve crimes like stalking. You have an imaginary romance with someone who just doesn't like you. And it is a felony in Oklahoma. And it's also interstate. It's a crime interstate for someone who lives in Texas, follows the victim to Oklahoma and will not fucking leave. So Charles Perry is a deviant. He's a sexual deviant. And that embarrasses everyone but him. So he's got something, I guess, called delusional erotomania, where he sits around and fantasizes about a relationship with me, and I don't like him. I don't like anything about him. I would never go out with somebody or be attracted to someone who peeps and hacks and goes around making problems all the time and causes duress and loss and traffics people and kills cops. So, I mean, that's just not my thing. The crimes of trafficking, the crimes of murder often involve, and peeping often involve stalking. So, I've been stalked by Mr. Perry since the day I met him. He's got Huntington's disease, and you know how we found out? Someone said Charles Perry has Huntington's disease. It causes delusion, paranoia, hallucinations, psychosis, and impaired cognitive reasoning. He doesn't want Cynthia to know. And I'm sick and tired of watching him ruin her and cause problems for her and hardship and suffering for her and everybody else around here. So let's make for damn sure she finds out. So we found out. There's police investigating him on human trafficking and sex exploitation. Our witness said that Mr. Perry trolls women. He puts hidden cameras in their home when they're not around. He picks divorced with kids. That's his preference. Single women with kids. And broadcasts us all over the dark web and sells watch time. He uses our bodies against our will, without our permission, without our consent, to make a profit and for his own personal entertainment. He can pretend he has a love life. He can sit there and fantasize and imagine and pretend all he wants and make a fool of himself and not understand that he should be embarrassed by that. It's deviant. It's illegal because it's unacceptable in a civilized society. Only 0.1% of the population is a violent offender. Outside of that is everyone else who cannot imagine doing the things that these men do. Because Charles is doing it with partners. He's got partners in his criminal activity. One of them yesterday said, I don't know that it's law enforcement that keeps catching our crime. I think it's La Cosa Nostra out of Vegas. Because she lived there. She goes to the casinos. Gosh, I really don't actually. I've been to the casinos I go to the casinos like maybe once or twice a year, if that. I usually go with my ex-husband when he's in town. We do the same thing we did when we were married and lived in Vegas. There's a set aside amount of money, usually about $80. It's usually not any more than $80, sometimes 100. And he'll give me some, and he has some, and we'll go play. Poker or video poker or slots or craps or something. And the video craps, not the real craps. The real craps requires more money. So and when that's gone, we leave. So there's and we go once, maybe once or twice a year, if that. It's not even every year, but and the guy said, well, she doesn't go to the Hard Rock. Isn't that the one Vegas is involved with? And he goes, oh, they're involved in any of them. And she goes to the River Spirit usually if she goes. But the thing is that I hardly go. So where you guys come up with this stuff, we don't know. We're at a loss. One minute you think it's the Catholic Church. The next minute you think it's, shapeshifters and Roswell aliens. The next minute you think it's God and the angels. And there's no question God and the angels are helping us. There's no way they're not. Even we've seen things that there's only one explanation. God intervened. God has mercy and compassion on suffering. God said, don't lie, don't steal, don't kill people, don't covet, don't commit adultery, don't go into court and bear false witness, and treat other people like you want to be treated. And that pretty much sums up all the other things, because he's not mocked. You're going to reap what you sow. There's karma in every religion. So there's definitely things that only God himself could have done. So no question God and the angels are involved. And you guys are weirdos. You're just fucking weirdos. So social deviance involves going outside of social norms to do things that are offensive and inappropriate to other people. 99.9% of the population finds it repulsive when you invade a woman's privacy in her house and hack her computers and her phone or clone it. And when you call around and butt into stuff that doesn't concern you, when you sell people, when you keep women and children locked in a basement or a compound in Houston, that's why it's illegal. When you do the crime, to me, in 10 years, every single day, nothing happens, but you get caught. Just because sometimes I'll type up what's coming in, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'll just change plans. So it's not that we don't know just because I haven't said anything. Sometimes we have a strategy and methods in everything we do. The objective is you're in jail. You're removed from society that you pose a danger to. So you're not going to hurt people anymore. And I can tell you, everybody's sick of that. Everybody's sick of the problems you've caused. You haven't just caused problems for me. You've caused problems for a lot of people for a long time. And you can only bully so long, and everyone's had enough of it. And people will start turning against you the second they get the chance. The second somebody else with a lot of power comes around and says, this is sickening, this is nasty, this is disgusting, this is offensive, this is inappropriate, this is illegal, and we're going to make it stop. Help us however you can. They don't have any problems getting help. We've always gotten help, not you. You've called around, you've tried to find out who's helping me, you've tried to find out how they're helping me, and we make every effort to make sure you never find that out until they're ready to make arrests, and it's over. Until they're done investigating, until they're done doing whatever they need to do before they make arrests, and they put you guys away for the rest of your lives, you're not going to know. We make every effort on the planet to make sure you don't know. So the bullshit you come up with is outrageous. The stuff you guys tell yourselves and each other is outrageous. We have heard it and we're going, what in the fuck? You're shitting us with this, right? I mean, golly, talk about crazies. Okay, delusional erotomania is a very serious disorder. It is not something to be proud of. It is not something you want to get a medal for. It is a disorder. It is a mental illness. Mr. Perry has it. I moved 2 times to get away from him and never have to, never again have to hear what he thinks, how he feels, or what he wants and what he needs. Twice. I went to a lot of trouble. And it's one thing for you to decide to move on your own. It's something else altogether. It's a much more difficult decision to make when you uproot a child. Dennis was 10. Dennis was 10. So you got to take your kid away from all the things and people he knows, all the life he's in, and start over in a new place. That's scary for a little kid. You don't want to put a little kid through that unless you have to. We had to twice. So that never again would I have to talk to Charles Perry, would I have to interact with him, would I have any conflict with him, would I have anything to do with him. Stop contacting me. I fucking hate it. No one cares what you think. No one asked you. No one cares what you need or what you want or how you feel. Everybody is sick of hearing it. Mr. Perry. Today is August 21st, 2023. This is Cynthia Ortiz. These are the Charles Perry Stalker podcast. Everybody's sick of hearing what you think and what you need and how you feel. The rape is awful. Do not watch me in the privacy of my home anymore. Stop it. You've been billed $1,000 a day for doing that to me, plus $2,000 a day for doing it without my consent. You do not have my consent. You never did. There's not a relationship there. It is in your imagination. It is weirdo. It is embarrassing. It is ridiculous. You're not wanted. You're not loved. You're told on and told on and told on and caught and told on and caught and told on and caught. And all the duress that you try to cause me to force me to do something I do not want to do, or force me to say something I do not want to say, has backfired on you like as never in your life. You've never been caught this much. You're not quoting us, we're quoting you. Get a grip on reality. You're not quoting us, we're quoting you. You're not naming our people, we're naming yours. And I'm going to name them again right now. You got Lucius, Muffin Man, that's a nickname. You got Lucius, you got Calvin, who's bald and fat. You got Sonjay, your hacker. You got Beverly, you got Renee, you got Blankenship, Desiree. You got Andrew, James, Lawrence, Ruben. You got Richard and Dickie. You got Bruce, Larry, Greg, Tim, Oscar. So those are names of your people, are they not? Who's Monique and where is she today? So this compound in Houston houses women that you've raped and had kids with, right? Because he doesn't just peep on us and sell us on the dark web and make a profit off of women. He can't make money. He's not smart enough. He doesn't have the power just to make money by himself. Gosh, the guy that I used to date, Saeed, that had started my medical business for me, he made money selling imported rugs. Him and his partner. His partner worked for the Shah in Iran. When the Shah fell, he fled with his wife and daughter to America with nothing. They had absolutely nothing. He started selling pumpkins by the side of the road. Now he owns an art gallery, and he used to do Persian rugs, import rugs, and that's what Saeed did. And they're now very multimillionaires. So you don't have the power or the intelligence to do something like that. So what you do is you use women to make money. You make money off the backs of women and children because you're too stupid to figure out how to make money like everybody else. So you use women. We're making the money. You're not. Our bodies are being used. You fail. You fail. It's illegal to do that for a reason. People are repulsed by you. We get the help with information, and you're not. We can name your people and quote your meetings, and you can't do that. You can't say that. You fail. You make everybody sick and disgusted. In a civilized society, we do not peep on women. We do not use women. We do not discriminate against women. Sir, we get the help with the information, not you. Because people are sick of you. And you don't seem to get that. You can sit around and bullshit yourself all you want. What happens, though, is we quote you. Right? We get your people's names. We got your code words. You can't say that. You can't say that. So we have this disorder where we sit around and pretend. Right? There's nothing real about it. You got women going to court for protective orders you're having to buy your way out of 11 times. So we're looking at it like, when he contacts me, when he takes my money, when he invades my privacy, when he bothers my family, he gets caught. And it's that way every day, all day long for 10 years. He has to want to get caught. There's no way he doesn't. There's no way he doesn't. Because if you're doing something and you're getting results you don't like, you stop. So, yesterday he threatened me all day. We're going to have you arrested today. We're going to have you arrested today. Well, you've said that every day for 10 years, dum-dum. When you do something to cause duress, false arrest, incarceration, lock women in a basement, take money that doesn't belong to you, then you cause duress. And you cause duress to force another person to do or say something they don't want to do or say. When you do that crime to me, you get caught. We get the information before. Sometimes we get it from police recordings or police, wiretap orders or whatever it is they have, or you have a leak or an informant, or you have an infiltrator, or you have, Charles just types it in my phone. I'm going to have you arrested again. I'm going to have you arrested again. You're going to go. You're going to be trafficked. You're going to go. Wow. He does it every day, all day long. He doesn't have an alibi to show he's doing anything other than what we say. He doesn't have one. That's all he does all day. Bother, pester, bother, harass, bother, threaten, bother, harass, threaten, cause problem after problem after problem after problem. Why are you always in Oklahoma? Give the court your schedule. How often are you in Texas? How often are you in Oklahoma? You weren't invited into Oklahoma. I came here, moved twice, to never again have to hear what you think. I really am sick of hearing it. We all are sick of hearing it. I need a lie. Yeah, fuck you. That's your problem, isn't it? Because we don't need a lie. Why do you? Don't sit around and do illegal things all day, then you won't need a lie. You're not entitled to a lie. I'm entitled to my privacy. By law and morally. Where's Jacqueline, Jordan, and Matthew when you sit on your fat, lazy ass harassing me and threatening me and bothering me and making promises for me? And last night we hear you guys, we're going to cut the fan belt on her car. So it'll blow up, it'll overheat. It's always something with my car. Always going after my car because you want to cause duress, thinking that'll make me be coerced to cooperate with being trafficked. And I said no, didn't I? My answer's no. And fuck you. Okay? That's my answer. So, here's this. Alright, you see this TPD? This is a story. It's a movie on Netflix. It's based on the true story of Marc O'Leary, who was a rapist, a serial rapist. The guy said, the first victim I attacked in Washington, Seattle, Washington, the girl that in the movie is called Marie Adler. The names are changed. But she was a real victim, and she was the first victim. He said, I left all kinds of DNA. I made all kinds of mistakes on that one. Then I relocate to Colorado, and I start raping again. And I got a lot better at it. The more you do it, the better you get. He wanted to talk to the FBI to tell them how to catch guys like him, how to stop people like him, so they don't keep hurting. He said I could not control myself anymore. But the first woman in Washington, she was like 18. She was very young. I made a lot of mistakes with her. She got kind of okay. When you're traumatized, and of course when she's 18, it's even worse. Sometimes you can't remember things, and I know that even happened to me when Mr. Perry did the first false arrest. It traumatized me. And the guys helping me don't always tell me what they're going to do before they do it. It has to be authentic. There has to be a true reaction. They don't tell me every bit of information I might need to know until, how do I put this? There's things that you are dropped into, just dropped into it. Because they want your authentic reaction. They don't want you to slip up. So interestingly, there was a situation similar on the TV show Lioness. They're putting this operative in a situation where she's supposed to become friends with a target, and the target, she says, I don't know her name. She goes, I'm not going to tell you her name. You need to look authentic. You can't slip up and act like you already know who she is. So we're not going to tell you her name. Go in there and get to know her. Just, it's got to look random. It can't be that your target, you can't look at say something that would give away that she's a target of an investigation. Okay, so they didn't tell me what they were going to do, that they were going to allow this to happen. They got you on obstruction. They got you on, there's a whole lot of charges out of that. The Tulsa police don't matter. It doesn't even matter what they do. They have a lot to explain at some point, just like these cops did here. Because if you can't do your job right, it's gonna have egg on your face at some point. That's all there is to it. You're gonna have egg on your face at some point. Yeah, somebody's gonna do it right. So this guy, this little girl can't get her facts straight. When I get back from jail, I got a message that my Microsoft account was about to run out of space, that I would need to purchase more memory in my OneDrive or clean it out. So I go in and I clean it out, and I find a letter that I wrote to the U.S. Attorney that was delivered on August 27, 2015, that I forgot completely all about. I forgot all about it. That is a significant piece of evidence, because what happened is I was at work at Sensations, and there were cops that came in there all the time. Two of them said, that senator from Texas wants us to just find a way to false arrest you. We said, no, that's not why we became cops. But that doesn't mean they won't find a putz that'll do it. So watch yourself in here. Immediately, I turn around and I write the letter to the U.S. Attorney and tell them I'm being stalked in Oklahoma, and he's trying to use law enforcement to help him do that. That would involve perjury, fraud upon the court, 20 different things that are illegal, Mr. Perry. So, you can't figure out how to get women to like you. It's not peeping, that's a turnoff. It's not hacking, that's a turnoff. It's not butting into things that don't concern you. It's not stealing mail. It's not calling family and telling them to gaslight. It's not calling coworkers and telling them to gaslight with role playing and scripts and shit you guys do. Weirdo shit. Normal people would never even think about that. Getting people fired, making them starve. So listen, my money is earned, whatever it is. It's my money. Okay? There's some of you guys, I've never met you. I didn't pick a fight with you. I don't even know who you are. Mr. Perry, my money is my money. When you take it, we get more. When you contact me, we get more intel. When you have problems for me, we get more intel. You get caught. So you have to like getting caught. There's no way you don't. It's different when you do the crime to me, but it's the same every time you do it. We quote you every day. Some days, over the last couple of days, the guys have said, you're drained and to shrink. You're drained from this guy burdening you and your life. Take a day or two and just only type up what you have to, or nothing at all. Just rest. Get your tank refilled. Everybody has to do that. Everybody has to refill the tank. So I'm looking in I find this letter that I wrote to the U.S. Attorney, and I'm telling him he's using law enforcement. So that is significant. And I've forgotten all about it. This little girl starts mixing up what happened during the rape, and the cops were stupid in not understanding that's what she was going through. They didn't start looking for the DNA. The guy said, I left DNA. I left fingerprints. I left shit all over her place. Okay, well, the cop's job is to find it. Find it. So he moves to Colorado and starts reoffending. And then he tells these guys, if they had investigated the first one right, there wouldn't have been any more victims and any more hurt people. So, Tulsa police fail. They've never properly collected my evidence. They've never properly interviewed me. They haven't even tried. Why? Why is that? We'll let them answer. Also, so what happens at the end of the day is somebody else did it. We are quoting you, you're not quoting us. I'm getting that somehow. And nobody will tell you how. In fact, we go to great lengths to make sure you don't know that. You're not entitled to know that. We don't want you to know that. Right? La Cosa Nostra out of Vegas. Wow. That's what the guy said. I think that the La Cosa Nostra out of Vegas wants my sex trafficking business, so they're doing this. It's not cops. You can tell yourself whatever bullshit you want. We think that is as funny as fuck. It's funny as fuck. So, that's what we got yesterday. We got the fan belt. We're gonna cut her fan belt so her car blows up, overheats. Going after my car. Always, let's cause duress with the call. Let's cause duress with the second false arrest. Let's cause duress by taking her money. Grand larceny with intent to coerce. Deprivation of food and shelter with intent to coerce. Interference with commerce with intent to coerce. Interference with contracts with intent to coerce. All of those are different coercion. Those are coercion charge, but that's the act, I believe, is what he said he was going to do. He said I can do it as a witness tampering charge, and I can do it as a coercion charge. He listed off a couple different things he was going to do. Okay. When you change evidence, it's tampering with evidence. Okay? You guys, the funny thing is you all have attorneys that are supposed to be explaining this stuff to you. I'm not an attorney. I'm not your attorney. So, why don't you go talk to your attorneys? Why are we having to do it in a podcast? Why is the victim having to do it in a podcast? What you're doing is illegal. Stop. Mr. Perry sells us on the dark web, makes a shit ton of money, then he gets us fired. Our witness said he gets the women fired. Then they make sure they can't find another job. Interfering with commerce, interfering with contracts, says if we can't pay our bills according to contract, you're interfering with the contract. Deprivation of food and shelter. Then they lose the house, he said, then he has to take the kids away. Now they're easier to traffic. Is Natalie Holloway at your Houston compound, Mr. Perry? Is she? They're gonna do an extraction at some point. Surely you know that. Surely you know they're watching everything that goes on right now. You got somebody with long black hair, dark hair? Okay. When you do the crime to me, you get caught. No one cares what you think. They care about the victims. Listen to the words I just said. Not one person who's normal, who's outside of your little bitty deviant club, is everybody else who is sickened by what you guys do. Sickened by it. Makes us want to barf. Makes us sick at our stomach. So, we get the help with information because everybody wants you to stop. That's the objective. No one has gotten closer to that objective than we have. We heard your code word. You can't use Little Red Riding Hood on her. Little Red Riding Hood is code word for get her family to gaslight her, basically. Hansel and Gretel trick the victim to a location where we can do some kind of harm. Um, Rumpelstiltskin is, I guess, the name. Get the proper ID. Mr. Perry's been desperate for me to go back to the club. I'm gonna say this to you one more fucking time. Okay? I'm not going back to the club unless I can waitress, and you're not gonna bother me. I'm not gonna go back to the club unless I'm waitressing, and you're not gonna bother me. And you guys want me there dancing, so you can pull another trick and cause harm or loss to me. We've known that. We've said it over and over and over and over. You are caught. How come you're talking to people at my strip club, Mr. Perry? You told people you're a happily married church deacon, Jesus, Bible thumping Baptist. And you're nothing. That's a fraud. That is a complete lie fraud. You got women at this house in Houston that you raped and made them have your children. Yuck. You ran around telling everybody in Sapulpa, I'm going to make Cynthia get pregnant with my kid. And they started questioning your sanity. He's a sick, twisted motherfucker. I think he's got women locked in a basement somewhere. And that guy, I want to meet you. Thank you for being smart. Thank you for your intellect. That's the kind of people I like. He nailed it. He got it right. Didn't he, Charles? Weirdo. Creepy Chucky, we call you. I can call you. I can have an opinion of what I think of you. And I get to call rape, because that's how you make me feel. We define, the victims get to define how you make us feel. And how we see you. And we see you as Creepy Chucky. Okay? That's how I see you. That's my opinion of you. So, I guess the other day, somebody said, what's all the hubbub about? And the guy goes, I think she caught him again, and it looks like she called him a pissant. So they're all crying, so we'll go get the tissue. And the guy went, oh my God. You're kidding me. You're shitting me with that, right? Here we go again with the whiny little girl act. You're ruining people's lives. So if you get called a name because you piss people off doing that, how in the fuck, what is wrong with you that you think that makes you a victim of anything? When you do things to hurt people, they're going to call you a name. How do you know I'm the one that said it anyway? How do you know who posted what? There's more than one. Okay? So, everybody got upset about the men who beat down women to feel tough and make them slaves. They got called pissants. That's the crime. You're off your nut. That makes people even more mad, Mr. Perry, when you play the victim. You and David act like you're victims. And we get all kinds of intel out of that. It's inappropriate. It's bizarre. It's fucking bizarre. So this little girl gets charged with false police reporting. Filing a false police report. And had to pay a $500 fine. But later, this man, Marc O'Leary, goes into Colorado and starts offending where they got real cops who are like smart and shit. Get evidence. They find the guy. They took DNA. They collected the evidence, and they did what cops are supposed to do. Properly collect the evidence. TPD's never done that on any complaint I've filed. I'm the citizen of Oklahoma. Charles is not. So, everybody's going, why is it that way? If I did this stuff Charles Perry's done, I'd be in jail. So what's wrong with TPD that they've not done anything? Why is she having to get help from cops from somewhere else? Yeah, that's a good question, TPD, don't you think? Remember I said I could sue you, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna out-cop you. Watch me. Nobody's gotten close. I mean, we're the ones quoting them. We're the ones got the code words. So, I have help. I can't do that by myself. There's no way. There's no damn way I can do that by myself, is there? No, there's not. cops from somewhere else, smarter than you. So that's what happened here. They arrest the guy, find pictures of this little girl. Marie Adler is the show name of the real person, and call the guy who failed and said, "You got a victim? Oh no, we got her for false reporting. She made it all up." And they were like, "Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna send you pictures we found on a serial rapist when we did our job right, and her pictures are on his stuff. How do you suppose that happened if she made it all up?" Yeah. So he had to pay her back, and then she sued, and then she won money. And that guy looks like a fucking finger paint cop. In that situation, it wasn't corruption, because it can be due to corruption, or it can be due to you're a finger paint cop who's just stupid. You always have to properly collect the evidence. You always have to go through and get all the information, which TPD has never done. They don't even care. They don't even try. They do care when Mr. Perry calls and says, "I want Cynthia pulled over." Then all of a sudden I got 20 pullovers. Now we're in traffic court. I need the list. Well, I'm not going to give you the list. Why not? What are you hiding? Why are you trying to conceal that from the deciding body? Intentionally. Well, we think it's not relevant, Mr. Dunbar says. Okay, well, I think it is. I think it's a Brady violation. It's exculpatory. I was targeted. This whole pullover was illegal. The judge says, "Get me a brief that explains why," in response to her brief. I file a brief. I want a motion to dismiss on Brady violations. He argues nothing about that. He argues insufficient evidence. So I file another motion to dismiss, which, by the way, he never responded to. So right there's another problem for them. They didn't respond. They have 21 days? Something like that. I'm still learning the procedure of the state law. Procedure for federal is easier for me. I'm not a lawyer. I've not been to law school. I had to teach myself this shit because Mr. Perry made sure I can't find an attorney. So I have to do it myself. I'm fine with that, by the way. I'm like, okay, that's my personality. You try to tell me I can't do something, I'm going to show you. I'm going to figure it out. I'll do my best to try. But you're not going to tell me I can't do something. I'm going to watch this. I'm big on the watch this. Right? I'll figure it out. But you're not going to fuck with me. Everything changed for you guys when you started fucking with me. We quote you every day. That never happened before, right? When you find yourself saying, "It's never happened before. We've not seen this before. It's not happened before." It didn't occur to you that things are different now. Things have changed for you. You got a whole new normal. People don't like what you're doing. They don't like it. And that started probably long before I got here, don't you think? You bully and bully and bully, and people have had enough of it. They've had enough of corruption. They've had enough of it. Nobody likes that shit. And so they don't like you. They don't like problems or those who cause them. This is not rocket science. We've not asked you to climb Mount Everest. We've asked you to comply with the fucking law like everybody else. Mr. Perry, I'm sorry that's your whack job. That's something that your own family needs to deal with, not me. We're sick of it. Everybody's sick and tired of you. We're worried about how Michael Neely feels, how Lisa Neely feels, how John Neely feels, how my children felt growing up in hell. Absolute fucking hell. And you did not have that right to impose on us that way. You're not wanted, you're not loved, you're told on and caught and told on and caught, and you have to like being caught. Because if you didn't, you'd stop. What he said in March 2020 is, don't invade her privacy. Don't contact her or her family in any way, shape, or form. Directly or indirectly. And she'd better not be broke anymore. Get your fucking hands out of her wallet. They've known me for a long time. They know I make money. And they know you're taking it. They got a forensic accountant tabulating how much money you've stolen from me. How much money you've cost me. It's my money, not yours. Okay? We're getting sick of hearing that. She's looking the gift horse in the mouth. No. You're stealing my money. Get out of my wallet, or we'll get more until they arrest you. Then you can't do that to me or anybody else for that matter. Okay? So TBD, this is you. I mean, there's a lesson here. Smart people learn from their own mistakes. Smarter people learn from everyone else's mistakes. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so we have this blog. Okay. This blog has documented the threats Mr. Perry makes. They're specific. We get specific threats. They're detailed. Like last night, gonna cut the fan belt on her car so it overheats. Right? We're gonna have Brandon call us when she gets there to take a shower, and we're gonna take the car, which they did the next day. I emailed it on January 18th. They did it on the 19th. Then they knew I had the email. They're hacking me. So I'm like, well, we told you so. We did say. Yeah. Okay. So, this blog has documented the threats that are specific for a long time. I'm going to do the disclaimer real quick. Now, see, he's jammed it up. Yeah, they don't like this. But for causation. You're the causation. Title 18 of the United States Code 1512 and 1513 prohibits witness tampering, obstruction of justice, destruction of evidence. Now, what kinds of stuff, all the shit you've done. It's La Cosa Nostra out of Vegas after my business. Nope. I don't think you matter, sir, to La Cosa Nostra in Vegas. You guys are some kind of arrogant, I'll tell you that. You live in a pretend world. Okay, the use of technology is... These two videos were produced by the National Stalking Resource Center. They specialize in stalking and preventing stalking. So, the use of technology talks about them hacking a phone to find out where you're at, to have you pulled over for the 20th fucking time, right? And, or pictures taken of you, just working, just doing normal things normal people do. You gotta try it sometime. It keeps you out of trouble. So, and it's legitimate work. It's not illegal to deliver food, is it? No, it's not. It's not illegal to dance either, as long as you don't. There's rules on that, but I was probably the most prude girl in there. All right, so this is Connecting the Dots. Talks about what police are supposed to do, TPD, when you get a stalking complaint. Name one time you did what they said. Yeah, you guys tell, oh, we don't take evidence here. That's not how we do things here. And I'm like, it is today. Here's some papers. Go fucking read them. And do your fucking job. Because somebody else is. This stuff is not tolerated in a civilized society. By the way, people with antisocial disorder, you know, give people who are civilized a headache in the eye, literally, and a sick stomach. So there's that. Here's the disclaimer. All right, let's look at this. Look at that. And there's more. I mean, this second false arrest thing, and this is not even the half of it. All the times I've been threatening with a second false arrest. Look at the dates on this. Look at this, 2019. See? 2017. Yeah. See, we document this shit every day. Every day. The threats are specific and detailed. Either we get it from police, get it from some sort of wiretap order, or an informant, or an infiltrator, or something. Or Mr. Perry just flat types it in my phone. Look what I can do and get away with. Are ya? If we're quoting you every day and we got your code words and people's name, what is it you think you're getting away with, sir? We're confused. We just think you're not all there. You're just not all there. So there's that. It goes back further, but I'm not gonna. Okay, here's the thing, Tulsa police. Like the guy said, had the police in Washington State stopped a serial rapist right then and right there, there would be no more victims. This little girl tells the cop, "You didn't apologize to me. You gave me my $500 back, and the city paid me a settlement in my lawsuit. But you never said you're sorry, and you don't ruin someone's life and not say you're sorry." Not only did he ruin her life, that cop ruined her life, or tried to, just being stupid. He ruined the life of every victim raped after her. Every time there's another victim and it blows their life up and they're traumatized, and now we can't function like we used to. Can't do it. You can't. You can't function like you did before being victimized by a rapist or a killer or a stalker or whoever it is that's after you all the time, human trafficker. You no longer are able to just function like you did before that happened. Everything's different. You've lost money. You've lost, it affects everything. You don't sleep half the time. I don't sleep a lot. There's a lot of times I can't sleep. Panic attacks all fucking night. I can't do it. I learned how to handle panic attacks. You're gonna have trauma. You're traumatized. It's called the normal reaction to an abnormal situation that has been imposed on you by someone else who thought they were entitled. You're not entitled. If we're quoting you every day, we're naming your people and your code words, you're not entitled to shit. Okay, so TPD, we will never forgive you for this. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. So, when the first cop failed in the situation with Marc O'Leary, he failed to stop the rapist right then. He didn't just ruin Marie Adler's life. He ruined the lives of every victim after that. After he went to Colorado and continued to reoffend and reoffend and reoffend and make victim after victim after victim after victim. I can't sleep. I have panic attacks. I lost work time. I lost money. I lost this. I lost that. Whatever they lost. And one lady said in her statement in court, "I want to know what it is I did that made you pick me to rape. Because if it was the shirt I'm wearing or the whatever, I won't wear that again. I won't do that anymore ever again." So, law enforcement is to relieve suffering caused by crime. You got one job. One. Stop the suffering caused by crime. Relieve the suffering caused by crime. And nothing else is required of you, and you have honor in that badge. And if you can't be a kind of cop that honors the badge and is accountable to the public you're supposed to serve, don't be a cop. You don't deserve that job. The people demand excellence. Everyone would like corruption gone, and we saw that when defunding the police movement hit like a fucking wildfire. People are sick of corrupt cops. That's the message, and you hit the snooze button and went to sleep again. Dead people. There is a dead police officer whose family is not getting the benefits that he deserves, that they deserve, because Lucky Miller died in the line of duty trying to protect me from a human trafficker. Lucky, when I was reading through the docket of Mike Neely's case, the dispatcher said sometimes he was risky, that he would pull people over and not call it in until he'd made an arrest. Not smart. I don't know why he did that, and that might be that kind of thinking may have contributed to what happened to him, because he should have talked to me a little more than he did. Should have talked to me a whole lot more than he did. It doesn't matter though. Why is the offender not in jail for stalking, obstruction of justice, destroying my evidence, attempted murder, assault with a deadly? There'd be no dead Lucky and no almost dead framed Mike, would there? So we're not going to forgive you. We're not going to forgive you. Natalie Holloway's body was never found. There was rumors of her being trafficked. Those girls are going to be extracted. Now, I'm going to tell you for the last fucking time, you do it or we'll do it for you. Okay? You can do the right thing. You let them go home. You give it back. You fix what you broke and you get the fuck out. And you might be shown some mercy. If we have to do it, you're not going to like how we do it. You've not liked how we do anything. So why would you like that? And don't sit there and act like you don't want to get caught. You absolutely want to get caught. Because when you do the crime to me, you get caught. And yet you keep doing it. So there's no fucking way you don't want to get caught. Sometimes people get so disgusted with themselves, they can't stop. They don't have that kind of power. So they want law enforcement to do it for them. And I think that's your problem. I think that's your problem. This man, Mike Mealy, took my complaint on car vandalism. You're always going at the car. So you went at my car. I didn't call in about 20 things you did to my car. And then I finally was like, I think I'm going to call this one in. And we're in court right now, so if depending on what comes of the determination, then I can go ask for a protective order. I've already asked for one in that lawsuit. Maybe I need to try again. No one saw who did this, but Officer Neely, but likely is a stalker. He does stuff like, I don't know anybody weird enough to do this but him. So they took my report. 6 days later, I get a text. Lucky's dead and Mike is in jail. What? A few minutes after that, I get a bang on my door. The Texas Mafia, after you, they did this. They got them both. Son of a bitch. So we start looking, and at first I was like, I don't want to think that. I don't want to think that that's what happened. I literally said, I'm going to throw up. I don't want to think that's what happened. Please tell me it was something else. So we start looking, come to find out Mike Neely didn't have a mark on him, and he's accused of beating Chief Miller to death. Well, you're going to beat somebody to death, you're going to have some injuries. You hit somebody, you're going to have bruising. And he was actually found unconscious and in respiratory distress. He was dying too. So they gave him Narcan, because somebody slipped opioids in his drink. The fight was between Lucky and the offender who did that. What'd you put in his drink? Mike slept through the whole thing, but he sits in jail. We told you to get him out, didn't we? We're not kidding. And the longer he sits there, and the longer you're in my life, and the longer you could do this shit to me, the more we have gotten day after day after day after day. And what day will they use all that? To arrest you and convict. And the more we get, the easier that will be. Don't invade her privacy in March 2020. Don't invade her privacy. Do not contact her or her family, directly or indirectly, in any form at all. And she'd better not fucking be broke. Get your hands out her wallet. Comply with the law. Respect her. Respect the law. Or I'm going to fuck you up. I'm going to put you away for the rest of your life. So how much more did we get after March 2020? A lot. We got the code words. We got people's names. We quote you every day. So we're meeting our objective. And you're helping. People are very upset with you. And very offended. And creeped out by you. They don't like creepy guys. They don't like problems. And they don't like cruelty. So we get the help, not you. Everybody's sick and tired of you. Nobody invited you to Oklahoma. What are you even in Oklahoma? You need to tell the judges how often are you in Oklahoma and what do you do with your day when you're here. Why are you here? Steve Massengale isn't here. Steve Massengale doesn't care what I'm driving or when and where I work or where I live. So why do you, stalker? Yeah. Get the fuck out. Alright, so here's traffic court date. Since the guy didn't respond to my second motion to dismiss, the judge should have dismissed it, and he didn't. So we have another court date where we have a hearing. There's procedures that have to be followed, and the guy didn't respond to my second motion to dismiss. The second motion said, Your Honor, he didn't argue against my brief. I asserted The reason I'm asking for a dismissal is Brady. There's no argument against Brady. There's no argument that says, no, this is not exculpatory evidence because he argued insufficient evidence, which I didn't assert. And I said, Judge, I don't know what case he's arguing, but it's not mine. So I filed the second motion to dismiss. At that point, he should have dismissed it. And he didn't, so we're going to court on the 6th. If you try to impede that, Mr. Perry, your ass will get kicked. By the way, I need my mail. It is a federal crime to steal mail. And we know you're stealing it. You can go into court and deny that all you want. We think that we do it. Deny it on the record because we love that. We love it when you do that. Okay, so we have all this that we got over the weekend. It's La Cosa Nostra in Vegas. We said it's law enforcement. Prove it's not. Call La Cosa Nostra in Vegas and ask them if they're stopping your crime. Yeah, okay. And, wanting to, again, go at my car. Always going at the victim's cars. And Mr. Perry threatened me all day yesterday. I'm gonna put you back in jail. I'm gonna arrest you I'm gonna arrest you again. Oh my gosh. And he has every day since they did the first one. So the first one, I'll just do the real quick review. Mr. Perry, when you contact me, we always get more. I don't care what you think. We're all sick of hearing it. It is 1:23. He just did it again. Okay, so the false arrest. See, these guys helping me got this to me in jail. Right? There was somebody, my guys are like, they were just talking about this XYZ police officer or law enforcement officer. Stared at that for a long time. And somebody was asking, why is he staring at it like that? Just trying to see if there's anything else in there. Any other that she didn't highlight. Yeah, okay. Got it in jail. Fabian, these are puzzles. I'm sorry. These are texts. Fabian, who was my manager at Jaguars. Look at the date. On the night David Robertson came in. Fabian fought with Charles. This is about the first false arrest. Months before he did it. He wants to arrest me to coerce me. That's what the email says. Nothing's changed. Okay, so he says Fabian and Charles argued over you for a long time. And I go, yep, it's my decision. My choice, who I want. And it will never be Charles. He's whack job. So there's Fabian intersects with the word hope. You have boo and sadness. He's causing fear and sadness. And boo is a private joke between one of the officers helping me. And then Charles is just a selfish little butt in here. He's always a wannabe, never the one wanted. Yeah, creepy Chucky. That's my opinion, Charles. Quit acting like a girl. Okay? These are texts that I sent to people back in 2011 about being stalked. There's nothing political in it. Nothing political in this text to Fabian. Nothing political in text to David Robertson. There's no political nothing. Okay, you have to file a police report when you get a protective order. You have to. You don't have a choice. Police are supposed to collect the evidence properly. Tulsa police never have. They just pull me over all the time. Okay, so I'm getting these kind of texts. We're going to kill you. I'm like, are you giving me arsenic and phenobarbital because I'm getting sick and I'm Googling symptoms and that's what's coming up? They did give opioids to Mike, remember? Okay, so I file a police report on the 21st. 29th, I don't get a call from TPD. I get arrested. Charged in Lubbock, not Oklahoma. He knew by law I had to file the police report, and he knew no evidence had been collected. So you go to a judge and say, I have probable cause to believe there's a crime here. False reporting because of retaliation for my job as a senator. Then Judge Hanson should have said, when was the evidence collected properly, and when was the investigation done, and when was she interviewed, and when were witnesses interviewed, when was the video of that night reviewed by the police, collected and reviewed, when was the text, didn't ask those questions. And what political issue would she make this crap up and retaliate against you? There's not one. Mr. Perry was, I've been in politics all my life. Mr. Perry was the new guy. So I had 100 people I could call had I done Texas legislation, which I didn't. I didn't need him. He's the new guy. That's like you live in a neighborhood for 3 years, and then somebody moves in, and you go to the new guy, and ask him to introduce you to all the people in the neighborhood. Stupid. Yeah. I didn't think that through. I didn't get a call back until the 15th. What's she asking for? Evidence. That's obstruction of justice. So then they want me to lie. And I'm like, I'm not going to lie. I'll just stay quiet, but Mr. Perry can never contact me again. So he's told not to contact me again. In my bond conditions. I think Chief Miller said, I've seen bond conditions. That's not what this is. This is a cover-up negotiation is what this is. Don't contact me. You pay for it every time you do with intel. Right now, it's just intel. That intel will be used against you to convict when they arrest you. Okay? When you make me broke, when you invade my privacy, when you contact me or my family, when you cause problems for me, that's what happens. You pay with intel. Intel nobody has, intel that will be used to convict you. So you can't do this again to anybody else. The girl said, you owe me an apology for ruining my life. You can't ruin somebody's life and not apologize. By the way, you didn't just ruin her life, officer. You ruined the life of every victim after her because you didn't do the right thing to begin with. You didn't put the guy in jail who was a danger. So he reoffended and now there's more victims and that's your fault. You failed. So, yeah. Judge Hanson should have never signed that. So I've been threatened with the second one ever since. Every fucking day. Let's try to frame her for a murder. Let's try to get her on prostitution. Let's get her back at that club and on the pole so we can get her on a prostitution. Over and over and over. All kinds of shit. So there's that. Let's send her home. Harass the hell out of her. And then when she says we're harassing her, we'll say then when she complains about it, we'll say she's harassing us. Right? Wasn't that the plan? Right around the time Justice Scalia died in West Texas, we're all there. You planned this, right? Justice Scalia is a First Amendment guy. He would have never put up with that, right? You wanted to use me as a test case before the Supreme Court. We're going to send her home, harass the hell out of her, provoke, antagonize, and entrap. Instigate. When she complains about it, we'll say she's harassing us. We'll lie. We'll commit another fraud on a court. Another perjury. And then we'll put it before the Supreme Court. And nobody will ever complain about us again. Right? Isn't that what you're playing? Odd as this might sound, everybody was in West Texas when that happened, when they were planning that, and that's when Justice Scalia died. And then you have William O'Ritchie, who is a good cop, smart guy, commander of the murder cops of DC Police, starts going, why wasn't protocol followed in the death of a United States Supreme Court justice, as it would have been had he died in DC, over in West Texas? Somebody's covering something up. Okay, well, I'm just saying, this is just people, reasonable, prudent individuals can put two and two together. Yeah, okay.
This make you feel? You're filming my father and my fucking sister. How does this make you
Is that
feel?
the one that put all the scratches on your arm? You want to see the
Scratches?
You want,
I got
I
scratches.
can show you the pictures right now.
No, I want you to leave my family fucking alone.
Keep hanging outside of there.
Hit the road. Dude, I promise you, you're gonna get yours and you're
I don't give a fuck. You can bring whoever the fuck you want.
That's okay. You're gonna
You can bring
Is
a
that
whole
a
fucking
threat?
army. I don't give a fuck.
This make you feel?
You know what stalkers have? Pictures of the victims, where they are, doing what they normally do, not bothering anybody. And often they stalk the family or use the family to stalk. And Perry's done both, and every day, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get. Oh my god, you don't even make sense. So, yeah.
You're filming my father and my...
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want free for this. Please leave me alone.
Hey man, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. You need to leave her alone. And this is bacon.
Oh, that's okay.